Annyeonghaseyo. Now, if you've been keeping up, actually, there's not much to keep up with. There's been like 2 videos of me learning about what's happening with North Korea. This is the 3rd video. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Nick Crowley. I've been suggested to him. He's been suggested to me. So we're gonna watch this video along with 2 other videos. I don't know if this is true, but North Korea just said that they got 800,000 like people willing to fight the US. Now, are those willing people, or like are they being forced to do this? That's my first question. My second question is, how are y'all doing? I hope y'all doing well. Hope y'all doing swell. It's your boy Tribe Loui. Welcome to the channel. As you can see, we are North Korean noobs. Following video deals with topic that may be just. Who the hell is that? Hey.
North Korea, perhaps one of the world's most brutal and mysterious regions. Over the past decades, the country has seen extreme famine, poverty, and a growing list of human rights violations, all at the hands of its brutal dictators. It's certainly not a place that many would like to live, but for its citizens, escape has become nearly impossible, as its border security has become the most stringent in the world. However, in April of 2014, a defector by the name of Lim Ji-hwan would manage to escape its boundaries, fleeing the country she claimed to be hell on earth, to start her new life in South Korea. But how could she have known that this would be where her true nightmare would begin?
Nigga, are those nuclear weapons, bro?
Before we get too far into this, I want to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Blinkist. As many of you know by now, I love stories, and not just telling them, but hearing them too. But I've never been much of a book reader, because I really don't have a lot of time throughout my day. And that's where Blinkist comes in. Blinkist takes full-length books and essentially highlights their stories into a 15-minute summary, which you can then read yourself or have it read to you. So when I'm driving or cooking, I can literally hear what would equate to a full book in just a matter of minutes. Recently, I just started listening through Chernobyl, the history of nuclear catastrophe, which was actually written by a Chernobyl survivor who recounted his experience surviving the disaster. But with thousands of titles to choose from, there really is something for everyone. So make sure you—
I ain't gonna lie, we might have to look into Chernobyl too, because I don't know what the hell he's talking about, bro. Hold on. Chernobyl. I know that there was like a nuclear disaster or something, and it left like the area completely bad, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened for real. Alright.
Visit Blinkist.com/Nick Crowley today. Lim Ji-hwan was born in April of 1990. During a peak of economic freefall in North Korea, citizens were left to starve, living their lives in devastating levels of poverty. These conditions made Lim's childhood anything but ideal, as her and her family would often go days on end without eating. But as she would grow older, these experiences would prove to be far from the most traumatic that she would face, with many of her most mentally taxing moments having come from her time in North Korea's military. She would enlist at the age of 17, only to discover the disturbing levels of sexism that female soldiers would be subjected to on a daily basis. Male soldiers would be showered in praise and be given gifts for their loyalty, while the women would receive nothing. In fact, they would typically end up being punished as a result, as these gifts that the men would receive would come in the form of the female soldiers. The men would be allowed to take their pick of women within the military that they could have for the night to do whatever they pleased with the women not being able to say no or resist. And those who would try would be left beaten and sometimes even killed. Having been just a teenager at the time, the effects of this more than toxic work environment would take a toll on Lim's mind, as she would begin to realize that she could no longer continue living under such circumstances, and she knew she had to escape. In mid-April of 2014, Lim would attempt to cross the North Korean border into China by paying a broker the little life savings that she had managed to collect, which back then was a common practice for those attempting to defect, but one that didn't always work. Some wouldn't have enough money to leave, and they would be turned back to North Korean officials, who would then send them to the most brutal labor camps imaginable. Or if they were lucky, they would be given a quick public execution. Either way, it seems that in most cases, their lives would likely be over upon their capture. But as Lim would make her attempt, the stars
Kim
had
Jong-un's
seemingly
face is
aligned
pissing me
as she
off.
was able to cross the border safely, where days later she would arrive in South Korea, settling down in the country's capital city of Seoul. Now a free woman, her life was far from glamorous in the beginning, as she would work as a bartender to make ends meet, something she was supposedly quite good at, as she was known to have a charming personality and good looks, a combination that typically yields success in the field of bartending.
Yeah, she is pretty, I ain't gonna
But though it was a rather quiet start to her new life, it was a far cry from the regime she had left behind, and her newfound freedom would give her opportunities that she could only have dreamed of years prior, with one of which being publicly discussing the atrocities of North Korea. While living in the North, those who would criticize the way of life or the decisions made by officials would be viewed as traitors and enemies of the state, leading to incredibly harsh punishments, again involving labor and prison camps. But with
bro, it's just so weird. Because think about it. Behind closed doors, he's really killing folks, bruh. And he's smiling at these children's faces, but he probably killed the parents. I could be wrong. He could not have done any of these things, but like, I don't even believe the words that just came out my mouth. I 100% believe he did these things, bro. But I don't know. I have to do a deeper dive. I have to see him talk. You know what I'm saying? I have to see him talk first before I can really just judge him and say he's a murderer. You know what I'm saying?
Now in the South, she could openly share her traumatic experiences that she had been through.
Yo, I didn't know what I was looking at. It's just a flag from the ground.
Through the use of social media, as she would frequently post to her blogs and other forums. On these accounts, she would expose to the world how disturbed the military system was there, and how the citizens of the country were literally starving to death. Given the constant propaganda and the lack of access to the region, there is many that isn't known about North Korea. So as Lim would share these stories, people would follow out of curiosity as to what life was really like over there. And quickly, she would grow a following to the point where she became a small internet celebrity in Seoul. But as her following grew, one thing would quickly become clear, that it wasn't just fans who had taken an interest in her. Lim's social media accounts were booming, but as soon as she began receiving this attention, she would be thrust into a massive scandal. Multiple articles would be released exposing Lim as a sex worker and a former cam girl, claiming that she had taken part in multiple pornography shoots while in China. A claim that would cause an instant stir, as South Korea is ultra-conservative when it comes to sex, and it's considered very shameful to do any type of work in that industry. And these articles appeared to be far from baseless, as they would even include photographs and videos that seemed to show Lim fully nude, performing these lewd acts. Almost as quickly as Lim would become a star, it would all be in jeopardy as fans turned their back to her out of shame. But the problem was, none of these articles were true.
What?
Instead, the images that were shown would feature a mix of Photoshop, along with other women being used that simply looked like Lim, and the articles would include information that could only be considered as blatant lies, as it was clear that whoever had made them were also behind the photo.
That's actually insane. That's insane that somebody would put that much work, bro.
Simply looked like Lim, and the articles would include information that could only be considered as blatant lies, as it was clear that whoever had made them were also behind the photoshopped pictures. But that begs the question, why? Well, despite making major waves within Chinese and South Korean news outlets, neither of these regions would prove to be responsible for the fake articles, and instead they had come directly from North Korea. The nation is known for its intense propaganda within its borders, but in this case they had orchestrated a smear campaign against Lim in a completely different country, and it's not hard to understand why, as she had been openly exposing their many wrongdoings, and the fake news story would be the perfect way of discrediting her and ruining her public image. The incident would prove to affect Lim's public perception, but many would end up catching on to North Korea's deceitful ways.
What is he?
And Lim would end up continuing to
Wait, was that a funeral thingy?
The incident would prove to affect Lim's public perception, but many would end up catching on to North Korea's deceitful ways, and Lim would end up continuing to grow her following during the next year. But now she was doing so, knowing that the evil she had left behind was watching her, and that she now had a target on her back. After the scandal would start to blow over, Lim would receive a huge break that came in the form of an appearance on a popular South Korean television show. The show would give Lim a larger platform to share her stories and would prove to be an incredible opportunity for her at the time.
Yo, she's literally gorgeous, bro.
One appearance would quickly turn to 2, and then 3, as Lim became a fan favorite nearly instantly, to the point that she had become a regular on the show, once again using her charm and looks to win people over. It had seemed that Lim had found her purpose, as her love for life couldn't have been more obvious, something she would even mention on her birthday in April of 2017. Having just turned 23, Lim would take to social media to say, "This is possibly the happiest birthday of my life. Thank you to all the fans who love me. You give me the courage to keep speaking out." Lim was on top of the world, and her life was at an all-time high. But this is something that wouldn't last long,
oh my
as this post would prove to be one of the last that she would ever make. In the days following her birthday, Lim Ji-hwan would inexplicably vanish, leaving her once active social media accounts completely silent. Authorities would visit her home only to find everything left as it was. Lim had not taken her valuables, and her savings of over $20,000 were left untouched in her bank account, with there having been no activity since the last day she was seen. Wherever Lim had gone, she had left in a hurry, without taking so much as a change of clothes. Lim would not be heard from for days, which would so much as a change of clothes. Lim would not be heard from for days, which would roll over into weeks as speculation grew like wildfire. Some believed that Lim had been the victim of an attack or a kidnapping, likely at the hands of someone who had heard the vile news reports about her, unaware of the fact that they were actually fake. While others believed that somehow, someway, North Korea had managed to take her back, as it was already apparent that they were watching her and actively trying to silence her.
100%, that's what I'm thinking.
This all seemed just too far-fetched, as Seoul was a safe haven for defectors, and North Korea had no reach in the region, making this kidnapping practically impossible to pull off without detection. There was no easy answer to how or why she had vanished. But as the weeks became months, it was safe to assume the worst. That was until July of 2017, when the missing celebrity would suddenly reappear out of the blue, being shown on a place that many were used to seeing her: their screens. Lim would appear on a television interview that would be posted to YouTube, letting the world know that she was safe and that there was no need to worry about her. Only, there was something very wrong with the as it didn't come from the regular show that people were used to seeing her on. In fact, in the clip, she wasn't even shown in South Korea at all, or even China for that matter. And instead, the interview was taking place in North Korea.
Bro, she does not look happy at all, bro. She looks like she's on the verge of tears right now. Look at her face.
The interview was taking place in North Korea.
Jesus.
In the video, Lim would explain that she had made the choice to go back to North Korea, a decision she made as a result of hating her life in South Korea. She claimed to have been lured into escaping her homeland at the promise of money and food. But when she got there, she described life as being hell, further stating that, "I wept every day missing my fatherland and my parents," also adding that South Korea had coerced her into saying all of those negative things about the North. She would continue by saying, "I committed a terrible crime. I am worthless. I do not deserve to live," before begging Kim Jong-un for forgiveness, as well as calling herself human trash. It was a shocking twist. Lim had been seemingly so happy, and in her short time in Seoul, she had managed to amass a good amount of money, along with thousands of adoring fans and supporters, as well as a good home.
Happy, bruh.
Yet here she was, back in North Korea, telling the world how horrible her time was in South Korea. The interview was certainly strange, as nothing seemed to be adding up about her story.
Facts.
And along with this, fans would notice that her face appeared to have been swollen, her hair was cut short, and her eyes looked as if she had been crying.
Yes!
The bubbly and cheerful Lim had seemingly been reduced to a shell of herself.
Oh.
Plus, the idea of Lim returning to the North voluntarily was one that just didn't make any sense. As mentioned previously, those caught fleeing North Korea were subjected to brutal punishments, typically equating to a death sentence. Yet here we have Lim, who not only escaped, but also publicly put the whole country on blast for the whole world to see on numerous occasions.
Yes.
And we're supposed to believe that she had just went back on her own
She should be
and
dead,
didn't
bro.
face any punishment. In reality, returning to North Korea was going to be a death sentence for Lim, and would likely mean years of the worst torture imaginable, and this is something that she would have known for certain going in. So realistically, it is more than unlikely that she would have returned voluntarily, and instead, it seemed that somehow, North Korea had managed to take her back.
Oh my god, bro.
How?
How?
Maybe Lim had gone to China in an attempt to smuggle her family members out of the country, and was subsequently captured upon doing so, where she would have been returned to North Korea, something that China does quite regularly as the nations are allies. Or maybe Lim had been told.
No. I knew this, but the return of defectors is kind of crazy, bruh.
It does quite regularly as the nations are allies. Or maybe
That's
Lim had
still
been
insane to
told
me,
that
bro.
officials in North Korea
We
were going
definitely
to
gotta-
slaughter and torture her family as a result of her fleeing, and in order to stop them, she would sacrifice her life and return to the nation.
Bro, she
Whatever
looks...
case was true, the only certainty seemed to be that Lim's return to the North was forced.
How are they walking like that?
Upon her return, Lim would be used as a propaganda tool, spreading misinformation to citizens about the supposed horrors of living in South Korea, while also stating that she had not been kidnapped or coerced into returning. She'd also claimed that she was treated well, and that defectors can always safely return home. A note that is far from the truth, as those returning would almost certainly be killed. But just the idea of anyone falling for this and actually returning is honestly terrifying.
That's so terrifying.
Lim would be shown in 3 separate North Korean propaganda videos, and her deterioration throughout them is obvious, as she looks frail and withered by her final appearance. From that moment on, she has not been heard from or seen again, leading many to believe that she was only kept alive as a means of spreading propaganda. And what they did with her from there is anyone's guess. How much torture did they put her through? How brutal was her death? And though we don't know for sure, I can only imagine how horrible it really was, as the way she had spoke against North Korea would have likely left her to face the most extreme punishments imaginable. Lim's story is one that is heartbreaking, but sadly it's not unique. In recent years, it's been discovered that North Korea actually has a secret police force, whose sole purpose is kidnapping and returning defectors. And in just a month prior to Lim's disappearance, Kim Jong-un had actually ordered the group to ramp up their efforts, with Lim likely having been their first target. To this day, defectors will vanish without a trace now and then, with many never being heard from again, making it a constant reminder to those who escape the clutches of North Korea that you are never truly safe. Lim Ji-hwan's life was filled with both pain and triumph, and it's the latter that she should be remembered by. The courage that it took to escape her country, and then to subsequently share her experiences with the world, knowing that it would put a target on her back, is unfathomable. And whatever it was that happened to her once she returned to North Korea, I just hope that it was quick, and that she's in a much better place now. I want to give a huge thank you to my gold tier patrons and my god tier patrons: Alfred, Donovan Aaron, Just Daily, Kaylee Kilcrease, Catherine.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. This is kind of horrifying, bro. This is kind of horrifying. Bro, who brought her back to North Korea though? That's like, if Seoul was so safe, how the hell did she end up back in North Korea? Not only that, but bro, like, you could clearly tell something was wrong off rip just by looking at her face, bro. This is why I'm a little disturbed. I've only watched videos where defectors have made it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not naive enough to not know that some defectors obviously didn't make it out. There's like a 1% chance you'll actually escape. However, I haven't really done any deep dives, any actual looks into defectors that haven't escaped, bro. This is worse than not escaping. This is escaping, enjoying life, getting captured again, thinking that you're gonna be alive, but you're just used for propaganda. And is she even alive anymore? This is literally the worst, bro. This is literally the worst.
I am the only one.
If you get caught recording, it's over for you, right?
In the airport right now. There's no one here.
How you know that?
On North Korea, the breaking news.
It's the most secretive society on earth.
Diplomatic talks between the U.S. and North Korea are at a standstill.
Good morning.
Good morning,
it's
bro.
6 a.m. and I'm in Pyongyang right now.
Pyongyang,
And I'm just
capital
about
of
to
North
fly
Korea.
from Pyongyang to Beijing
Annyeonghaseyo.
on the world's worst airline. The world's only one-star airline.
JetBlue. Spirit.
Thank you. So to go to the airport,
Yo.
I need 2 guides just for me. I've just got my passport back.
He's allowed to record?
Just got to the airport. There is no one here. Like, as far as I can see, I'm the only person.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's no one here.
Cause no one is leaving. Oh my god.
As far as I can see, I'm the only person. Yeah, there's no one here. Right, it's not open. Sure.
That's actually horrifying. That's actually scary as
It's
hell.
actually hilarious. We just tried the doors.
Bro, imagine you go to your local airport and it is completely empty. Something you've never seen ever in your life. You know dang well that every single American airport has at least somebody there. You know what I'm saying? To have it shut down is crazy.
It's actually hilarious. We just tried the doors to get in, and it's closed.
I ain't gonna lie, I be.
I think it's the first time I've come to an airport and it's been closed. Okay, the other doors are open.
Nah, that's not hilarious, bro.
Check this
You
out.
better let me
I
go.
am the only one in the airport right now. There's no one here.
I'm still in a plane.
Whisper, and you can hear me. There's literally no one else.
Yeah,
in this
that's
airport.
insane. I ain't gonna lie, that's
No check-in
crazy.
Staff, no people at all. This is
That's
the
actually
only time I've
insane,
been to
bro.
an airport
Nope, like,
with absolutely no one in it.
hey, yo. So I'm confused. How you get to the plane? Who's flying the plane? They got pilots,
This
right?
is the first time, and only time really, besides being in the hotel where I've been completely unescorted. But I'm not allowed to leave the airport. Like everywhere you go in North Korea, you have guides. I am completely on my own right now.
You better
in
go
a
explore,
giant
bro. This is a
empty
one-in-one
airport.
opportunity.
I think that there's other guides coming later, but I have 2 hours to wait in this room with
Oh,
no one, doing nothing. It's also the first airport in the world where I can just leave my bags down there and I don't feel like I'm going to get in any trouble. There's one security guard down there and nothing's open, so I don't think anyone's going to be worried about
so if I went to go explore without waiting for my guide, it would have been over for me? Like that would have been like, yeah, bro, you're done for. You're going to jail, buddy. That's insane. My first instinct was to go look around.
feel like I'm going to get in any trouble. There's one security guard down there and nothing's open, so I don't think anyone's going to be worried about left baggage.
Bro, so I'm
It's kind of spooky. like something from Zombieland.
Yes. Yes, bro. This is like
I assume this is
unnatural.
what any airport is like before it's open. I've never experienced it before.
Me neither, bro. This is insane.
See some big sort of military jets there.
This man watching.
It's about an hour later now, and people have started to arrive. So, time to check in and go through to airside. So I don't know if you can see this, by the way, but there's 2 flights today. There's one to Beijing at 10:15, which is what I'm getting, and there's another to Shanghai at 10 to 10 tonight. And that's it for the whole day.
Why are there so many people there then? Are there people coming into North? Nah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what people got going on.
You know what? That was really easy. I'm sure it has something to do with the fact that there's only 2 flights, but getting through security and customs, it was like, took about, I'd say 3 minutes. Like, they looked at my passport, stamped it straight through.
American airports wish they had that type of
security,
efficiency.
Like, I didn't have to get
But
my
then
laptop
again,
out or anything.
We got
like,
way
not
more
even
flights than
my
just
camera
2
or anything. Literally,
destinations.
Just put it all in and got through really quickly. A lot of people say about or even people have the thought before about, well, you get everything checked and all your memory cards and everything else looked at when you come out of North Korea. But for me, going through the airport then, they did not care whatsoever. I went straight through. And now I'm on the other side. I'm in airside now for the next hour. It's funny because it's actually quite a big terminal, yet
Yo, what is this
there's 2
music
flights
in the
today,
background,
and
bro?
like 12 hours apart. Okay, waiting for the flight now. Got myself a coffee. This is my Air Koryo ticket, fairly standard.
So if I get stuck in North Korea, will
The only
the
annoying
US
thing I
come
found is
come
there
get
is
me?
like, there's no food.
Or they're just
there
like,
at all.
shucks, buddy.
Just had a coffee, but there's like
What if they
no
unlawfully
food
keep me there?
or
Will the US
restaurants,
be like, hey,
as
that's
far as
our,
I can see,
that's our black
available to
person?
buy. At least not open right now. I can't see anything.
Or they just be like, good riddance.
Get a whole dried fish though.
Is that a
There's
fish?
actually no food at all, other than duty-free shop cookies and chocolates and stuff. So I'm gonna wait until Beijing. It's only like an hour flight anyway. But I've just been told that I was told before that I can't really film on the plane apparently. Apparently they might not like it. So I've got to kind of do it surreptitiously from here.
That's a good word,
Kinda
surreptitiously. I like that word.
I'm still going to try. And yeah, we'll see, because this is the world's only 1-star airline. It's the world's worst airline, pretty much. So I have to try and film some of it.
Okay, bro. Just please be careful. Because, you know what I'm saying? The consequences. Crazy.
Alright, here we go.
Jail time. In a foreign country that likes to kill its citizens. I don't look that bad. They give us newspapers? Yeah. What the hell is that? It's they just show straight propaganda on this plane?
That was actually quite alright.
I was gonna say,
For the world's only 1-star airline, it wasn't bad at all. It was quite an easy flight. Got a little bit of food as well. They call it the mystery meat burger, but I've been told it's actually pork.
I was about to say,
Yeah,
I ain't
that's fine.
eating
I've
none.
had worse flights on
mystery
Ryanair
meat,
and Wizz
bro.
Air. It was honestly no big
Some
deal.
gravity
And
falls
there's a
type
reason,
shit.
by the way, I'm back in
What?
Beijing now.
Gravity
There's a reason
falls.
that I had to fly and everyone else got the train back, which I'm going to tell you in a sec. And I'm back in Beijing.
What's up,
And
buddy?
I'm staying at a hostel just up here. What a crazy few days. I kind of decided on a bit of a whim to go to North Korea. It's because I was coming to China already for the Great Wall Marathon. I just added this on afterwards.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I said my real first impressions in the video. I did a couple videos back, the first impressions of North Korea.
We might have to watch that.
I want to reiterate that I thought before, just having spent a couple of days there, that I'd be a lot more restricted in what I could film and take photos of, and what I could say to the camera as well. And I wasn't checked at all going out for memory cards or camera or anything, phone. They weren't interested, so I easily could have said absolutely whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
And as it was, I didn't really hold back that much anyway. I sort of just filmed everything except for military and construction, which you can't, and didn't say anything bad about Kim Jong-un or the supreme leaders, because again, that would be bad. But besides that, it was all easily filmable. And I don't want to like say that that's the best advice. Go and like film whatever you want. Obviously do your own research, ask your guides, check what they suggest.
Yo, what if your guides mislead you, bruh? Like, what if they say you can do this and you do it and you get sent to prison? Like, what are you supposed to do about that? Because you can't say my guide lied to me, because they're not gonna believe you. That's like the most. That of course you would say that so you don't get sent to prison, bro. That'd be so messed up. Oh my god, what if that actually happens?
Research, asks your guides, check what they suggest. But for me, it felt like I was able to give my opinion on most things, and we were having conversations about most things as well, quite openly, and able to ask questions about the country quite openly as well.
Interesting.
Right, anyway, that's just me collecting my thoughts, but I want to say why I had to get the flight in this video. Because I was meant to, with Young Pioneers, the company I went with, go across via the land border in the train and return by the train. And obviously I got the train on the way in, if you saw that video, but I couldn't get the train on the way out because I only had a single entry China visa. They did say beforehand to get the double entry China visa, and I applied for that, but unfortunately China didn't give it to me. They only gave me a single entry one. So what this meant is I couldn't cross back using the train because they don't do transit visas on the land border. What China do, however, is a 144-hour transit visa, if you're from the UK like me, which you can get if you fly into Beijing. So I had to fly from Pyongyang back into Beijing and get a 144-hour visa that way. It did mean it was quite expensive because that was the last seat available on that flight, and it was a 400 euro flight in the end, which was, yeah, that hurt, but it was the only way that I had the chance to see North Korea this time around. And that's just about it. Let me know in the comments what you've thought about this series. Let me know if you have more questions about traveling to North Korea. And honestly, if you have any questions, then put them below. And I'm going to try and do a follow-up video to this, answering all the questions that have come up in the comments and what the general reaction has been to the past few videos. But for now, I just want to say I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you took the whole series with a pinch of salt. It was never a political commentary on North Korea. It was never really whether you should travel to it. It was more just
I kind of still want to, like, I want to go,
and
but
trying to show you a place that most people don't see or think of going to, and just showing you my personal experience of being there for a few days. It was only a few days. I kind of wish it was longer, but I only had a few days spare this time around, and so at least I got to see it a little bit. But I think if you did go for a longer trip, then obviously you'd get to see a lot more of the country, because I only saw Pyongyang, the capital city. Right, that's it for now. A bit of a ramble at the end of that, but I hope that all makes sense. Thank you for watching, and see you again in the next video.
And I could try to, but I wouldn't know what to say.
That's empty airport is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Empty airport is crazy. That's what I'm saying, bro. Look at this comment. The scary part is how empty, quiet, and clean the city is. Like, bro, if you ever...
Don't tell me, baby, cause I don't really wanna know what happened last night. Oh no, just say it wasn't so. Just say you love me,
bro. And the airport is like empty for the last 5 minutes and then crowded immediately.
Just say I had
You said it was the quickest security, my friend, your entire trip. Bro, that's what I'm saying. I was extremely shocked to see that he was allowed to even film like the inside of the car, the guides and all that. Yeah, he thinks he's alone, but forgets the many men surveilling him. You don't want to search my bag? Oh, it's fine. We already did. I'm still gonna try to film on the plane, even though he's clearly been told not to. And that's one way to end up spending your days in a hard labor camp, asking yourself what you did wrong. Yeah. That is literally what my thought process was, bro.
By any company or government to make this video. I do not condone, support, or promote the regime of North Korea in any manner whatsoever. Please do your own research. I am not a journalist.
North Korea.
North Korea.
North Korea.
The North Koreans.
North Korea.
The propaganda.
Kim Jong-un,
Jesus, they slamming they
his
foot.
regime, prison camps, human rights.
And Kim Jong-un threatened to destroy the United States.
Fire and fury.
Ballistic missile.
Rocket Man.
The ballistic missile.
The worst mistake of my life.
Otto Warmbier. Dennis Rodman. North Korea threatens the entire world.
It was a moment for the history books.
I am not a journalist. I'm just some kid with a consumer camera who was lucky enough to gain access into the most isolated and controlled country in the world. This video series is a product of that.
Hey, yo. I could just hear the propaganda in this music, bro. It sounds like it's spewing propaganda.
So after 3 days, 2 flights, a 12-hour layover in Moscow, Russia, a 3-hour sleep on a concrete floor, I finally arrived in Beijing.
So I gotta go to Beijing if I want to go to North Korea.
So here I am in Beijing. Got here yesterday at like 3 in the morning or something crazy.
Jesus,
Still pretty jet lagged. As you can see, I'm going to North Korea. Pretty nervous. Had a briefing last night with the tour company I'm going with. I'm doing a budget tour, so I'm not quite sure what that means in North Korea standards, but I guess we're gonna find out over this video series. Lots and lots of rules to take in. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this video series. I'll do a bit of kind of normal vlogging, but then I'll probably do quite a bit of voiceovers as well, because I'm not quite sure what I'm going to feel comfortable or being allowed to say. Without any more talking, I've got to go get a taxi, and then we've got to go to the airport and fly to North Korea on what is called the world's only 1-star airline. So
yo, why everybody keep on calling it that, but it seems like a perfectly fine like airline, bro.
I'm nervous.
Yeah. I'd be nervous too, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'd be nervous too. I'll be nervous too. And that boy going, yeah, and that boy going somewhere. I'll be nervous too. Air Oreo. I still don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't have a clue.
Arrived at Beijing airport, checked in, got boarding pass and everything. Flying in like half an hour or so, boarding, and then heading away to Pyongyang, the capital of North Korea. The nerves are kicking in a bit, but anyway, let's do this.
Hey, I sound like an alien character, bro.
Hello. Thank you.
Oh boy, it already begins. They give you the fact that they give you newspapers kind of like alarms me. And this mystery meat is just like, hey yo, why that plane look like that? It look like it needs to be cleaned a little bit. I couldn't do it. But I mean, I'd have to if I want to go. I want to go.
Arriving in
He's just
North
walking
Korea.
outside recording?
Alright guys, so this is the part where we arrived in North Korea and we met our tour guides. We had 2 Korean tour guides the whole trip and one guy from England who was working with the tour company. All foreigners have to be accompanied with a tour guide at all times, so you're basically in sight of these tour guides unless you are in your hotel room. Under no circumstances are you allowed to walk alone basically anywhere apart from the hotel, so it's extremely strict, but the tour guides were very friendly. The flight was interesting. I would definitely rate it higher than 1 star. The burger they served, let's just say it wasn't the most appetizing thing I've ever seen, but apart from that, you know, good service. Anyway, so from here we drove in, and the first thing I noticed about driving on the roads was just how rough they were. This kind of came as a bit of a problem for filming, really bumpy. When it came to filming, it was quite strict on what we were and what we weren't allowed to film also. We weren't allowed to film any military, that's vehicles, soldiers, bases, anything like that. We weren't allowed to film construction sites. If we were to take photos of any pictures of the leaders, then they had to be fully in frame. You weren't allowed to take a part of a statue, you had to take the full statue. Otherwise, it was seen as an insult to the leaders. You have to show extreme respect to the leaders when you're in North Korea. If you can't show respect to the leaders when you are there, then you will be in some serious trouble. We drove past the 105
The thing is, I ain't really bowing to nobody though. You feel me? I'm not gonna bow to some random man that's killing people. I wouldn't do good. I would be done for in North Korea. I can already feel myself getting angry at just the thought. Like I'm not bowing to you, bro. Oh man, that's my privilege talking, ain't it? I've never had to bow to anybody. Oh boy. Oh.
330-meter tall will be in some serious trouble. We drove past the 105-story, 330-meter tall Ragyong Hotel. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. So basically the whole of the inside is a construction zone and the whole of the outside's complete. And you'll see this later in the video lit up at night, and it's pretty incredible. From here we arrived at the train station to pick up some other people that were on the tour who were arriving by train.
Are they all waiting for the train? I ain't gonna lie, bro. I have not seen one smile on anybody's face, bro.
Pyongyang. Arrived at the train station to pick up some other people that are on the tour, but we're like fully immersed in the public right now. It's interesting.
He must be like some crazy looking creature to the people of North Korea with his phone recording. Bro, nobody is like happy right now. Haven't seen one happy like human, right, bro? What the hell? What are those for? Okay, I see somebody smiling over there.
Station, the train's just arrived. I'm getting the train back to China, but some of the group got the train here from China. It's like a 26-hour ride, so I'm really looking forward to that. But
he's staying over for 9 days.
It's kind of it feels like we're invisible.
So the thing is, I'm paying attention to the background because I'm trying to see if folks is like really, because you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I feel like you gotta be on your P's and Q's if you recorded in North Korea, bro. No cap. Because you could accidentally get something, somebody could see that, and it's over with. That's insane. It's kind of, it feels like we're invisible. People don't really look at us. So I don't know. They're not looking at you, bro.
That's about.
You better not look at them either.
Interesting.
Or say hello.
Still quite tired and things, so I'm trying to get my thoughts straight, but fill you in as best as I can. And I think after this we're going to the main square and then getting dinner, so I'll document that.
Alright, bro. Just, you know, be safe. Hey. I ain't gonna lie, they dress kind of nice. Bro, Bro, I'm not seeing a single smile on any.
On our way to the Kim Il-sung Square, we passed the Yanggakdo Hotel, which is the infamous hotel where Otto Warmbier was caught on video taking down a political poster and sentenced to 15 years hard labor.
The last time Otto Warmbier's family saw him, more than a year ago, he was healthy but distraught, pleading for leniency in a North Korean court. Kim Jong-un's regime sentenced Warmbier to 15 years of hard labor for allegedly taking down a propaganda banner in Pyongyang.
Why did he do that?
North Korea with severe brain damage has now died.
Jesus. What are they talking about? Who? All
right, guys, so
why did he do that?
The city center.
What do you mean? Hold on. What do they call him? Otto what? A neurological injury? What the hell is botulism? Hey, yo, a British member witnessed the arrest. No words were spoken. The guards just came over and simply tapped Otto on the shoulder and led him away. I just said kind of quite nervously, well, that's the last we'll see of you. There's a great irony in those words. That was it. That was the last physical time I saw Otto, ever. Otto didn't resist. He didn't look scared. He sort of half smiled. Yeah, he didn't look like he was half smiling when he was pleading for his life and putting his thumb on that red thingy, bro. Why did he do it, bro? Why? I never should have allowed myself to be lured by the United States administration to commit a crime in this country. I wish that the United States administration never manipulate people like myself in the future to commit crimes against foreign countries. I entirely beg you, the people and government of the DPRK, for your forgiveness. Please, I made the worst mistake of my life. Dear God, bro. This is insane. This is actually crazy.
Has now died.
Rest in peace, Otto Warmbier, bro.
Alright guys, so we've come right into the city center. This is basically like the middle of North Korea, as central as it gets. This is Kim Il-sung Square in the background. You've probably seen this on photos. I'll go and get some nice Sung Square in the background. You've probably seen this on photos. I'll go and get some nice shots of it in a second.
Am I tripping?
And then we've got
those sound like
this big river going through here. Not sure how good the audio is because I didn't bring my microphone.
Screams, I'm not gonna lie.
And then we've got a big tower in the background there that hopefully tomorrow we're gonna go up that tower. So I'll show you a few shots of around this area. And then I think we're gonna go and get food maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like scared for him,
Nothing
bro.
like I expected.
Good editing. Good editing. Yo, there's no signs that like, is it just all propaganda, bro? What is on top of that, bro? What the hell is that? So this is where they be marching and stuff. What is?
So all these white dots that you see all over the ground here, this is where people stand for the parades. So you've probably seen the famous North Korean parades and how everyone's perfectly lined up. Well, these lines go all the way around here.
Yo, their marching is kind of crazy.
And then
I ain't gonna lie, it's very in sync, bro. It's
like maximum 2 times a year, from what I've been told. Sometimes they don't even have them.
What are
so
those? Missiles?
a lot of work goes into a short time. From the square, we started to walk towards a bookshop. We came across.
I'm confused. What are the point of those? Like, what are the point of the parades and stuff like that? Is it to show America the type of military power they have, or like are they showing off, or is it just like is it a celebration? What are they celebrating? Like,
goes into a short time. From the square, we started to walk towards a bookshop. We came across these supermarkets that were just... They don't even have them, so a lot of work goes into a short time. From the square, we started to walk towards a bookshop. We came across these supermarkets that were just fully stocked, but nobody was in them. I'm not quite sure what was going on here. Maybe they'd gone home for the day, but I'm not quite sure.
Wait, so they have... Nah, they don't have restaurants, but they got supermarkets.
These traffic wardens are fascinating. If they see a government car, they will salute it. And you can tell if it's a government car by their number plates. All their number plates are different colors depending if the car belongs to a company, the military, or a government official. It's very rare for people to own their own cars in North Korea.
Why she...
When we arrived in the military or a government official, it's very rare for people to own their own cars in North Korea. When we arrived in the bookstore, we were greeted with more copies of the Pyongyang Times, which is an English newspaper talking about North Korean news. With the newspapers or any kind of magazine or pictures with any of the leaders on them, you are not allowed to fold the newspaper through the leader's picture. So you have to be extremely careful when handling these papers because it's highly illegal to deface or crease. You're not actually allowed to throw them away. You just have to leave them on a table somewhere and then let people who are qualified to destroy the papers destroy them. We were also able to buy anti-US propaganda posters.
Anti-US propaganda
From the
posters?
bookstore, we took a drive through Pyongyang at night. You can see the unfinished hotel here again, fully lit up on the outside. Incredible light show. This is a huge building. It's just unbelievable. Strange with the lighting, considering there's not much electricity to go around. And then we arrived to a restaurant for dinner. The dinner was absolutely delicious. Basically got something for anyone. If you like meat, if you're a vegetarian, if you're a vegan, basically anything
none of that
want,
looked
you
good,
can get
bro.
it here. Whatever preferences you have, they'll organize everything for you.
Of this?
And the food was so delicious.
Really?
Kimchi, potatoes, different kinds of meat if you're into that, noodles, rice. From dinner, then we drove to our hotel.
Sound kind of good. That sound kind of good, I ain't gonna lie. Different kinds of meat, rice, and potatoes.
Guys, so made it to the
Sign
hotel
me up.
after
Let me get a ticket.
dinner. They're absolutely exhausted right now, filming in the toilet because the lighting in the bedroom isn't really sufficient. I think there's a bit of a power issue, but apart from that, first impressions really good. Looking forward to what tomorrow brings, going exploring around the city, doing heaps of different things, but I'm so ready to get some good sleep so I can actually take in everything I'm seeing properly. And I hope the audio is picking up okay on this because I'm not using a microphone, just these little muffs here. So
nah, understandable, bro.
Huge.
I mean, with that big camera, you're kind of attracting a lot of attention, but it's fine.
Before I finish the video, so
yeah, show me what the hotel looking like.
So this is the bedroom I'm sharing with the French guy. He's just downstairs, but
what type of fridge?
So have a look out here. So
Dear
you can see
God.
the leaders lit up there. That's the main road.
It's so dark.
And there's just skyscrapers everywhere. Make sure you stay tuned for the next video. Thank you so much for watching. In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Jesus, bro. Y'all want me to keep it a buck with you? I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm gonna keep it 100. What I've learned so far about North Korea has me a little shook. Not shook as in like I'm scared, but like as in, yo, they're really like brainwashing people, bro. Spreading extreme misinformation and are willing to kill and manipulate to continue spreading that misinformation. Now, I'm not naive enough to believe that it probably doesn't happen in the US, but I don't think the US is moving as bad as North Korea is, bro. I know that there's misinformation spread on the news. I mean, that's literally how people can get how much power. That's literally how people consolidate their power. You know what I'm saying? But being willing to kill, capture, manipulate, and torture or like, bro, that's something different. I ain't got no words. Bro. This is literally exposing my eyes in ways that I didn't really want it to be exposed, bro. This is horrible. Like, what am I supposed to do with this information now? Because it's like I want to like, I'm not even a person that cares about people like that. I keep on saying this. I don't really care about people. You know what I'm saying? I find humans to be annoying, hurtful, brash, and just overall weird. Not the tribe. The tribe is wonderful, bro. The tribe is actually one of the best communities I've seen. Like, for real. Y'all are so nice, bro. But that's besides the point. What I'm trying to make is that even if you don't care about humans, bro, this story, like, hearing about what's happening in North Korea, bro, you can't help but feel something for them, bro. You cannot help but feel some type of way for them, bro. If y'all want more, let me know. Enough of me. I'm gonna leave y'all be. It's your boy Loui. Gang. Yes, sir. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Yeah, it's the end. Leave a like and share it to your friends and your kin. When I post a video, I'm gonna need y'all to attend. Thank you for the view, but I ain't done with you. 2023, I'm about to be Jordan with the flu. Yeah, join the tribe. Yeah, join the tribe. I'm gonna need y'all to subscribe.